It's so beautiful. Look at all the friendly people.
Get lost, Smurf.
With my antlers.
Let's go out there, YouTube land, and all sorts of social media lands. Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're going to be doing a movie review of a new film that came out at the beginning of this month and is based on a children's book from the 1950s. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and any other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as X, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Patreon. Pretty much post on those regularly, so definitely check them out. And as always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome, everyone, and welcome to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we are going to be doing a movie review of a newer film that came out at the beginning of the month and is based on a children's book that came out in the 1950s called Harold and the Purple Crayon. Yeah, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Yeah. So Harold and the Purple Crayon, like I said, is based on a children's book that was written back in the 1950s. It actually had several book sequels as well, but the film is based off of the first book that came out in 1955. And is just a really interesting, fun family film that I thought was a great live-action adaptation to the book from the 1950s. Now, this film just was really entertaining. I thought it was super funny. It had a great cast and just really blew me away because I wasn't too sure what this really was about. I'm not too familiar with the book. I've seen the book. I've read the book when I was really young. But at the same time, I thought that, I wasn't just 100% sure just how, this was going to go. But because of the cast, I knew that I was going to love it anyways because just this cast is always fun to watch and always amazing in anything they do. Now, this film happens to be directed by a gentleman that goes by the name of Carlos Sandela. Yeah! Carlos Sandela. Yeah! So Carlos, who was a frequent collaborator with Blue Skies until they were bought out in 2021, was a part of and co-directed several films over the years for Blue Skies. He was a co-director on the first Ice Age film, and he was a co-director on Robots. He was a director of such films as the last two Ice Age films and so forth and stuff like that, and just was a huge collaborator with Blue Skies and just did a really great job. Now, this is actually his first live-action film he's directed, and I think he did a really fantastic job with it. I really enjoyed what he brought to it, and I like that he, took the elements from doing a cartoon or CGI animated film and really brought it to life in the live-action form, because as I was watching the film, I felt there was a lot of elements that could have had CGI going on them, but they really did good with doing the live-action format. And I think Carlos did a good job of really bringing that to life and giving us a really solid and fun, entertaining film based off this great book. And I think that if, Crockett was still alive, the writer of the book, he would have really enjoyed this, retelling of his book that he, wrote back in the 1950s. Now, Carlos, I think, is just a really fantastic director. I've enjoyed everything he's made. A lot of his films and co-directed and stuff like that, I've really enjoyed and thought have been really good. But one in particular that you should definitely check out if you haven't seen his directing was a great film that came out back in the early 2000s called Rio. Yeah, Rio. Yeah, Rio is a really great film. I thought he did a great job with it. I really enjoyed everything he brought to the film. And I thought it was just a really great all CGI animated film. I loved the voice cast in it. I thought the birds were beautiful and great. I like that we got to see this great Brazilian landscape in animation form. And I just thought Carlos did a great job of giving this really fun animated film that was from beginning to end super entertaining for all ages. And I just really enjoyed the humor and the comedy in it. And I enjoyed, like I said, just all the animation looks so, just amazing and beautiful and just really done well. And you couldn't help but feel how pristine it looked. And I just really enjoyed everything that they brought and he made in that film and gave us a really entertaining animated family film. If you haven't seen anything Carlos has directed, definitely check out Rio for his directing. He did a really phenomenal job with it. But overall, I thought he did a great job with this film. The directing of the actors and so forth, he did a great job with. And he just gave us a really great just fantasy action film that just was so mindlessly fun that you didn't have to think. You were just enjoying the fantasy of it all. And it was just super entertaining, and I thought Carlos did such a great job. If you haven't seen anything Carlos has directed recently, go check out Harold and the Purple Crayon now in theaters. He did a great job. So this movie has a great cast, a lot of great people that I've enjoyed watching over the years. They've been in a lot of great films and are just rocking and are just awesome actors and actresses, and they just always bring such greatness to their characters. So to start us off is Harold himself, played by Mr. Zachary Levi. Oh yeah, Zachary Levi. Woo, Zachary Levi, yeah. Zachary Levi is such a great actor. Absolutely loved him from the time he was on Chuck to, you know, his performances in several other films over the years that he's just been awesome and fantastic. He is just a really great comedian, and I just always enjoy anything he's ever in. And for, you know, funness about Zachary too is I always feel he plays characters that everyone can watch. He likes playing characters like that. He likes to be a part of, you know, family friendly films, and you know, this is definitely one of those films that he really wanted everyone to enjoy, and I can feel it. I can see it in his performance and everything he brought to it, and I just thought that he did a good job of bringing that to life and giving us this really great performance of who Harold, you know, would be coming from the pages of that, you know, that book from the 1950s. And I just love that, you know, he's supposed to be like this grown-up version of him that kind of knows things, but at the same time is still very childlike himself and stuff like that. And I thought Zachary did a great job of, you know, engulfing that and showing that and giving us this really great, rich, you know, growth of a character from beginning to end. And I just really enjoyed everything that Zachary did with that character. He did a really great job. Now, if you haven't seen anything Zachary has been in, definitely check out a great film. He's been in 2 of them, were DC, and has played this really great superhero comic character. Then, of course, the film called Shazam! Yeah! Shazam! Yeah! Absolutely loved him as Shazam. He was perfect for the character. He was fantastic in both films. And he just really rocked it out. It was so much fun. And I don't see anybody else playing Shazam. He was perfect for the character. I thought he was amazing. He was exactly what I saw from the comic books. And just made a really great version of the character that was super enjoyable and just super entertaining. And I thought that his, you know, his countering and counterpart of, you know, of his character as the boy, Billy Batson, I think that his character, the kid that played him, Asher, did a great job of almost being like Zachary Levi, and they worked really well together to bring that whole character to life. And I just think Zachary did a great job of giving us a really fun performance. If you haven't seen Zachary Levi anything, definitely check him out in Shazam and Shazam 2. He was phenomenal in those films. But overall, I really enjoyed him as Harold. I thought he was fantastic, endearing, and fun, and I just think he did a great job giving us this really great fantasy family film. He was just fantastic. If you haven't seen him recently or anything, go check him out in Harold and the Purple Crayon. He was phenomenal. The next actor I'd like to talk about with this film is another great comedian who has been super funny, super enjoyable, and is always just really great to watch in anything he's ever in. And that, of course, is Mr. Little Rel Howery. Oh yeah, Little Rel Howery. Woo, Little Rel Howery, yeah. He is absolutely fantastic. I love Little Rel. He is always super hilarious. I love the characters plays from Free Guy to, Uncle Tom to, many films that he's been in. He's just really freaking hilarious. And I absolutely love just what he brings to the characters and what he does. And he's always, like, super funny because he's always kind of like that sidekick kind of character. And he's always, like, very skittish and very, like concerned and, like, trying to be the serious one, stuff like that. And it's always done so well. And he just brings the characters that he always plays to just a fun height that's super funny and just really well crafted. Now, his character in Harold the Purple Crayon as Moose was absolutely freaking hilarious. I loved it. I loved how he played it. I thought that it was a really great version of him. And I just loved his interactions with him and Zachary Levi were on point throughout the whole entire film. And he just really brought the character Moose to life. Now, if you haven't seen Little Rel and anything else, you should definitely check him out. A great film that was exclusive to Hulu. And they've made 2 of these films now with the same characters, but the first one is by far the funniest of the 2. And that is, of course, the film called Vacation Friends. Yeah! Vacation Friends. Yeah! He was absolutely freaking hilarious in this film. Absolutely loved him. And, you know, this film really showed how great of an actor, comedian he is, because he played so many different wide range of characterizations in the film. From the beginning of the film to the end, he's such a great tour de force in this film, and he's absolutely freaking hilarious. Some great scenes throughout that film, especially the scene where he's like, he ends up eating these mushrooms that John Cena gives him. Oh my god, it's so freaking funny. And there's so many great scenes throughout the whole entire film that just really give edge to the comedic talent of Little Rel. And he's just so fun. If you haven't seen Little Rel or anything, definitely check him out in Vacation Friends. He was really fantastic in it. But overall, I really enjoyed what he brought to the Harold and the Purple Crayon. I loved his character. He was a great sidekick, a great addition to this film. And you just laughed out loud every time they were on screen together because it was so stinking funny. Especially the scene when they're in the back doing the putting away the boxes that they think at first is really easy. And then we see him like literally 6 minutes later going, oh my god, this is too much work. And they're like both like acting like they're dying. Was absolutely freaking hilarious. And he did so great at that. If you haven't seen Little Rel or anything recently, go check him out in Harold and the Purple Crayon in theaters now. He was fantastic. So that brings me to the next actor I like to talk about in this film. And that, of course, is a great actor who I absolutely love and is always amazing in anything he does. He's a great comedian. He's great at what he does. His performances are always on point, and he just really is natural at his craft. And that, of course, is Mr. Jermaine Clement. Oh, yeah, Jermaine Clement. Woo, Jermaine Clement, yeah. So you might recognize, of course, Jermaine from Muppets Most Wanted. You might recognize him from What We Do in the Shadows. You might recognize him for a few things over the years. And he's just a really great comedian that is super fun. And I totally did not realize he was in this film until I saw him in the film yesterday. And he literally was fantastic as the villain. He was super funny, super on point, and just super hilarious. And I just love his evolution throughout the film. He's like this nerdy librarian who takes his fantasy world way too far and into the real world, and he designs and brings to life all these things and just does a really great job of giving us this really funny character who is kind of a villain but not really, and just he's on the wrong path, and he just played the character so well to the T, and everyone all worked really well together. It was super funny. Jermaine was just so freaking awesome. Now, if you haven't seen Jermaine in anything, definitely a great film to check him out, and he's super awesome in. It's a great film that stars Paul Rudd and Steve Carell called Dinner for Schmucks. Yeah, Dinner for Schmucks. He was absolutely fantastic in this film. He plays the boss of Paul Rudd's girlfriend in the film, and he has some of the greatest one-liners throughout the whole film that are on point. His collectiveness of his character, the eccentricity of his character, and all that was so done well. And Jermaine, I don't see anybody else being able to pull that off but Jermaine, because he was just so brilliant at it and just did such a great job. If you haven't seen Jermaine in anything, definitely check him out at Dinner for Schmucks. He was really fantastic. But overall, he was a great addition to Harold and the Purple Crayon. I absolutely loved that he was a part of it and gave us this really great performance that was such a Jermaine Clement thing, and he just was a really great addition to that great film. If you haven't seen him in anything recently, go check him out in Harold and the Purple Crayon. He was awesome. So what is Harold and the Purple Crayon about? Basically, the premise of the story is that Harold and his 2 best sidekicks, Moose and Porcupine, all of a sudden find them having no narration by their narrator friend, and so they decide to go into the real world to find him. And basically it's about their journey of learning what happened to the narrator and learning about themselves and kind of this great adventure that is, you know, as Harold has, and his ability to be able to use this crayon to make anything he wants. It's a really fun family film, really great film all around that's just super entertaining for all ages. I absolutely loved it. It was so fantastic of fun. It felt like a classic family film, and it just was so fun to see something that was, you know, felt normal and enjoyable, and just felt like a movie again that was just about entertaining people and enjoying. It just was a really well fun, rounded film. If you haven't seen Harold and the Purple Crayon yet, definitely go check it out in theaters now. Worth a watch, really fun, really enjoyable film. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, also thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been before, don't forget to check out any other new videos so you might not see mine yet. As always, people, a huge shout out to my new and old followers. Thank you so much for being followers, subscribers. You guys are rocking it. Keep on watching. As always, people, if you want to show support and help the channel out, please check out my awesome Patreon page and become a part of my Patreon, where once you become a member, you get all kinds of exclusive stuff that you don't get here on my YouTube channel, such as outtakes, bloopers, says what I do next, and all that kind of cool stuff. So definitely check that out, people. It's worth the watch. It's definitely worth it. As always, catch you in the next one.